Well, I definitely try to stay in touch with the things that are going on in the university. It's a big university and there's a lot always going on, so it's a challenge to keep in touch with all the different aspects of what's going on. So I definitely try to do that. I try to, if I know a particular student is interested in a particular thing, I kind of keep a list, and so I'll send students who I know are interested in law school some, things I get from the pre-law advising, or scholarships are a big one, so I try to keep a list of students I know I talked with and make sure that I connect them. As far as like people knowing me in the community, I get students, it's a lot of word of mouth. Students are always saying, oh, Sierra told me to meet with you, or Tom said you're the one to talk to. So I think they kind of just spread the word sometimes too, just like they do with professors.
Well, I think that part of it is communication. So students get emails from me all the time about things that are going on campus, about opportunities. The English department has a series of, not a series, but a group of combined degree programs. Students can get their BA in English and a master's degree in literature. Students can get their BA in English and a master's degree in writing and publishing. And there's also a program that we have in connection with the School of Education called Teach. So for students that are doing incredibly well academically, this sort of doorway into a 5.5-year BA MA program is there. DePaul has the English department has a number of internships that are available. So it's constantly advertising those to students. When it comes to probation students, I know it's not just the one meeting they have with me that lists the probation hold, but also a follow-up throughout the quarter to see how they're doing, and whether that's formal, like an email sent out on a certain date, or whether that's me seeing them in the hallway and checking in with them and seeing how they're doing. So it's just constant outreach in addition to the academic advising side of things.
What I strive to do is that when I first meet with a student, so let's say if they're a first-year student and I'm assigned to actually quite a few first-year students in various departments under the College of Science and Health, I make sure that we cover more than just academics, but that we're talking about the value of outside of the classroom experiences and ways that they can get involved, display and work on professional development. Yes, they're going to be getting a degree when they leave here, but it's so much more than just the degree and the piece of paper. But what transferable skills are they bringing into their post-undergraduate work, let's say? So all of that I think about. I think about their major, their academics, time management. We'll discuss, again, ways to get involved on campus, career opportunities, mentoring, leadership opportunities as well. How can that carry them through the 4 years or however long they're going to be here? With my population, and in terms of science and health, it might be getting involved in doing undergraduate research, opening their eyes and helping them explore the urban campus that they're on, but also, going beyond Chicago, more on a worldly level, I would hope. And I think, again, coming back to, what does it mean to be a college student, and how are you going to maximize your time here at DePaul and really take advantage of all the wonderful opportunities and resources and people that are here, and, ways to network, and how that can just create and result in more than just a degree, but helping you advance into your professional life. And I'll share just how when I was an undergraduate experience and the mentors that I was privileged to be around and the opportunities and where that took me. And I think that helps as well when I relate my own experiences to them, and seeing that, okay, it does work, and this is happening, and it's not a parent or it's not a professor. It's, we're kind of on the same level at that point.
Well, I'm not sure what I do, except that we do have a high graduation rate in our program, so I think the university likes that. But also I work a lot with helping students find placement in jobs after graduation, and I believe that really contributes a lot to the strength of the program and to its reputation in the university.
I think one of the first things I did when I started my position as an advisor at DePaul was really start to reach out to all our partner offices and to make connections or to make point people, or point contacts, I should say, in various offices. So like at the Career Center, meeting with career advisors there, getting exact names, getting exact phone numbers. So when I do meet with a student, I'm not just referring them to an office, I'm referring them directly to a person. I feel like students think that's much more of a personalized service and it's more tangible for them. So for instance, I would do that my first couple weeks that I was here at DePaul, meet with the study abroad office, know who I could connect with students there, meet with the Dean of Students, find a point person at the Dean of Students office and run the whole gamut. And it also helps me to build connections with partner offices too. So if they have like a new program or initiative, like for instance, maybe the study abroad office has a new program destination that they've got that students could apply for. It's good to sort of have point people so I can know of those things and then let my students know sort of what's going on campus apart from just the classes or student organizations and things like that to participate in.
A lot of my advising work happens outside of the actual advising session. I'm very proactive in my work, maybe like overly meticulous, obsessive compulsive perhaps, but I check on my students every quarter, each one. Right now there are 877 students in my program, and when grades are posted, I go into every student's grades for that quarter and check on their registration for next quarter. I try to find any enrollment errors that they might be registered for the wrong course, or they might have missed a course in a sequence, or they're registered for a course that's not going to count for their major or not going to count for their honors requirements. I also, by checking their grades, I can often determine if there's something wrong, if there's a student at risk, if a student might be struggling, and I contact all of those students and require them to meet with me and follow up and find out what intervention might be necessary. So I like to think that none of the students really slip through the cracks. I always know when something is going wrong, maybe not ahead of time, maybe sometimes it might be a little bit too late, but we're always able to work on a situation and see what we could do. I also do a lot of work informing students, reminding them of deadlines, reminding them of course requirements, getting kind of trying to get ahead of things. I check their enrollment when they register. I know they often change their registration, but I always check initially to see what they registered for and make sure that they're on track for graduation, that they're not taking anything that's going to slow down their degree progress. But mostly I'm checking to find out who might be at risk, who isn't going to voluntarily come to me, and then I go to them.
Well, I'm really about the options. I really want to make sure that they know what options they have. I feel like my role is to help them find the resources to make the decisions. You know, we talk about the goals that they have, and then I'm not going to be the one making the decisions with them. So I feel like my job is to help get them prepared to have the conversation with the people who are going to help them make the decisions so that they really understand what their curriculum options are, the costs are, or other things like that. So I help them get ready to have that conversation. And then, of course, if they need follow-up, you know, I'll always be able to answer questions or find the resources if I don't have the answer.
I would say that students, whether they've been trained to do this, whether it's just part of youth, or it's something that happens by default in the education they've had up until this point, they come to me with questions, and they're questions that really I can't answer for them. You know, what to do with their life, for instance, what to minor in, how to spend their open electives, what graduate program they should enroll in. These are things I definitely have opinions on, but I don't have answers to, because the answer is theirs to make and to find. So usually what I do is I turn their questions around on them. I try to get a feel for what their preference is. I try to make them realize the answer that they already have for themselves. They just haven't been able to vocalize or find.
I help them in taking ownership of their experience, empowering them to make their own decisions, and going through okay, so what's going to happen if you make decision A, or what's going to happen if you make decision B? And being a support system through that decision making, I think, is incredibly important, and that I'm attentively listening to them when they are making these decisions. And I feel especially, privileged, and I appreciate that they want my input in helping with these decisions. But ultimately, I work really hard on empowering them, helping them with their confidence, and helping them come to a decision that they're happy with, that they believe in, and that, at the end of the day, they're going to feel good about themselves.
I think mostly I just show them what all of their options are, and let them know what options they're deciding among. I think sometimes when a student feels very blank about something, they need to know what they're choosing from. So I think that's usually the biggest help.
I think the great thing about advising is, especially advising college students, is you're working with a population that they're aspiring adults. So they're not quite an adult, but they're making the steps to get there. And I think decision making is a huge component of the emerging adult process. So a big part of my job is to help students really kind of make sort of mental pros and cons list. So should you be taking on 3 courses with 3 labs in one quarter, if last quarter you did 2 courses with 2 labs and you failed them all? Is that a good decision, yes or no, and why? So really helping students kind of negotiate the pros and cons process with balancing their schedules and other life obligations. And also helping them prioritize too, and sort of thinking about that the degree is not the only thing that's going to get you a job or get you into graduate school at the end of the day. It's all these other extracurriculars things that the sort of world of work demands nowadays. So a big part of the decision-making process is helping students prioritize. Should I take summer school? Should I take summer classes this summer? Or should I maybe look for a part-time job or an internship? And again, negotiating the pros and cons with that too, and thinking about the potential outcomes of that decision also. So it's a huge component of my job, and I think it's one of the parts of my job that I love the most.
This can be very complicated because honestly, as many students as I deal with, I can still say every case is unique or different in some way. So I encourage the students and work with them to weigh carefully the different aspects of their needs, their expectations, their goals, and try to help them see how they can realize those goals and expectations, or satisfy their needs or their program requirements or whatever in the best possible way for them. And there may be times when there are shortcuts that a student hadn't realized that are available to her or him. In other cases, a very few, I've helped a student realize that the program simply isn't right for them.